Hello there. Welcome back to the channel and another episode of Tales of the Forgotten Sea. Before we jump into today's episode, I'm guessing you already noticed there is something missing. My players. I just want to quickly explain what's going on. Especially why things seems a bit out of order. Unfortunately, some of our recent episodes were corrupted, and few key important moments are gone missing. It's frustrating, and I was trying to recover them, to re-record some of the parts in order to give you the content, but it felt fake, it felt not natural, it felt scripted, and we didn't want that. So here I am, filling the gaps with a recap. So let's go right into it. I recorded 2.5 of them just to make sure that you got everything. But the important bits is the story must go on, the show must go on, and you need to have a complete idea of what's going on in this homebrew game. A story unfolds inside the Spiky Litter Tavern, where Zing and the team were discussing a strange tarot card tied to Eleonora and maybe Zing passed. When Baroness Niam suddenly enters, visibly shaken, she recounts a chilling encounter. A massive figure, dripping with algae, covered in weed, appeared outside the window of her home, with gigantic claws and ominous presence. Could it be Jenny Greenclaw? We don't know exactly. The thing is, she seems to have strange feelings. This kind of daze, a kind of not completely sure of what's going on. The team decided to spring into action, but not before noticing that she's still wearing this strange crystal that Eleonora gave it to her on the ferry. And it's radiating an unsettling energy. Maybe she's under some kind of spell. So they decided to actually carefully remove it. When Dante, Baroness Niam, pet raven, snatch it and fly out of the windows, leaving the player wondering what's his role in all of this. It's just a pet. Is he actually trying to help his owner, or giving them more trouble? The only thing that they understand that this is works of Eleonora, the silent and eerie companion of the feared Charles Vane. What does she want? That's the question. So, with the help of Zing and the other client at the tavern, they put the Baroness at ease, and they decided to, with Zing, go to the Baroness mansion, but they are welcomed by a kind of surprised butler that didn't even notice that the Baroness was missing. No, not very good at his job, apparently. At the Baroness mansion, things only grow more puzzling. An open window, barefoot tracks leading into the woods, and claw marks on another window suggest both an intruder and an escape. Something that seemed partially match what the Baroness said. But that's not all. A vital town seal used for official documents is missing. This raises an unsettling question. There is some kind of alliance between Jenny Greenclaw and the dangerous Charles Vane? Is that even possible? A Fatu and a human being working together towards a purpose? That can be. find their courage, the team decided to follow the trails, to a circle of ancient runic stone deep into the woods behind the mansion. Something that some of them recall being maybe connected to the stories that are being told in town about the Baroness' great-grandfather. And they found it. Deliberately disturb one of the stone down on the ground, and avid footprints that lead them to the shore of the Chatterpond Lake. Zing, using his hunting skill, smell something that he can't pinpoint. It's like a kind of a reptilian smell, and he's not sure. The only thing to do is to follow the footprints. And at the shore of the Chatterpond Lake, fear begins to seep into their minds. A splash drew their attention, and then she's appeared. Is that Jenny Greenclaw? Maybe. At least it's a ghostly dark form that floats above the water, pointing ominously towards the group. Panic ensues. Some attempt to sing her eerie lullaby, trying to calm her down, while others desperately try to stop them because they think that is going to enrage her even more. The air grows thick with tension, and one of them noticed that the stone behind them seems to glow and pulse with an unseen energy. In this moment of chaos, the sings halt, and both the ghostly figure and the shimmering dark lights vanish, leaving the team shaken and uncertain. They decided to return to Rock Hill with a more clear move, a more clear purpose. They need to confront Charles Vane and uncover his potential involvement in this dark chains of event. The problem is they don't know where it is. And as usual, Troubled Doms comes alone. The next morning, a terrible discovery is made. Geoff, the Caliberian priest, has been murdered. The same Geoff with his huffy voice and nice, gentle manners that tried to help them a few hours before. The pieces are on the board, but the picture remains incomplete. Who or what is Jenny Greenclaw? She's just a fatwa. She's something more. There is a foul play on a different kind going on. What roles Charles Vane and Eleonora playing in this dark story? What secret lies into the runic stones and the Baroness' stolen seal? But mostly, who killed Geoff? As the team decided to investigate Geoff's murder, they find traces of struggle, marking on Geoff's body that match with the same marking found on the previous fisherman, the poor guy that was dragged underwater, and a trail of blood leading to the cemetery just outside the church. And the same set of footprints that don't quite match any known creature, but at the same time feel a little bit natural. Which each clue they uncover, the mystery deepens. Was Geoff killed by an actual supernatural force? Or there is a darker, more mortal hand at work? With the tension mounting, they decided to go back to the tavern to discuss with Zing, and they need to decide who to trust. and they definitely need to confront Charles Vane head on. But, as usual, the problem is finding him. Strangely, the team is approached by Mary. Zing and Bob adopt a daughter. She hands them an invitation, signed by the very true Charles Vane. Here Eleonora wants to meet. Knowing the danger, the team doesn't take this lightly. It's like, this is madness. We need to be armed. So they arm themselves. They find weapons, bombs, and whatever gear they can muster. Ready to a fight. They decided they're going to blow up Charles Vane to smithereen and get out with it. After all, with this kind of people, is kill or be killed. The dress leads to a surprisingly nice house in town, not very far from where they are. And at the door, they are greeted by a massive Sarikar Karat. One of those crocodilian-like men, who firmly and calmly ask them to leave their weapons behind. Of course, they don't want to, but reluctantly, because this is not their target, they do, hiding some of them and surrounding others. Their heart is pounding with anticipation. Charles Vane is just at the floor above. Can be this the moment where they discover everything? They're finally getting the answer they want. Inside the house, they find Charles Vane, an imposing and terrifying figure. His presence radiates danger. Every word they try to master feels like they are stepping on a landmine. As if he could strike them down at any moment. Yet, not everyone feels that way. What the terrible pressure. Hazel shows his true color, confronting him with stubbornness and pride, almost like unfazed by the palpable threat. And close to them, Leonora watched with quite amusement. In the meantime, she's doing tarot reading, and her piercing gaze never leaves the players. In this kind of a strange standoff, everything being suddenly interrupted by an elderly woman with tea. Before things start to escalate, just a moment before everyone is ready to spring into action, this sweet elderly woman walks into the room with teas and biscuits. And the players are thrown off balance. They don't know what to do. Who is this woman? Why is she here? Why she's here? What's going on? Was this a trap or something else entirely? It turns out that Charles Vane is very smart. He has simply rented the house and the unsuspecting owners are still living there. Any plans of explosion are quickly abandoned because you don't want to kill an innocent bystander. They need to find other things. They need to find another solution. So they try to get into under Charles Vane's skin and try to get the answer they want. And despite his reputation, Vane denies any connection with Jenny Greenclaw. And surprisingly, it seems honest. It even offered the player to make a deal. They're going to stay out of his way, and he helped them find a weapon capable of killing Jenny. But of course, when he asks about what's going on with the Baroness and the business that Eleonora has with them, Vane remains vague, hinting that whatever happening is something between the two women. Nothing that they should be worried about. An alpha victory. Leaving the house, the team feels conflicted. Vane's deal sounds tempting, but they still have a lot of unanswered questions, especially about Geoff's death. As the misery surrounding the Baroness and the cursed town grows deeper, the player's next choices could mean life or death. And just before they started to kind of relax, put their mind at ease to make sure that to understand what the heck is actually going on, two figures jump into the scene. The woman and the man that hired Jean to investigate about the Ask are now in town, and they demand answers. And there it is. The pieces are finally falling into place, but the mystery remains ever so tangled. Who killed Geoff? What Charles Vane true involvement in all of this? What it's actually doing? What terrible secret lies beneath the surface of Rock Hill? Make sure to stay tuned, because in the next episode promises to reveal some answer and maybe some fight, if the players are brave enough to face them. Thanks for watching, and be sure to comment and maybe put a like. Until then, beware of the shadow, keep your courage close, and remember, it's Shamari time. That means the King of Nightmare is lurking. You need to be ready. See you next time.